Hello all, old geek, and let's take a look at an old dragon magazine. I think we're up to number 12, aren't we? Volume 2, number 6. Still $1.50, February 1978. Long, long time ago. Colour. The cover. The cover art. Right. It looks like somebody has coloured this using coloured pencils. Look at that. It's awful. It looks like early Sutherland. That's very much Sutherland's style. I don't like Sutherland's covers. Sorry. He did some decent black and white pictures occasionally. Paladin in Hell was really good. But no. One of the worst covers, I think. It's really not good. At least it's got a traditional Dungeons and Dragons image, though. It's just very flat, poorly coloured. Yeah, Sutherland. They are DCS. Sutherland, sorry. Well, Parther advert. Okay, we get lots of miniature adverts, don't we? Basic set. This will be the home set. Yes. Full set of dungeon geomorphs, set of 5 polyhedral dice, revised D&D rules rule book. Yeah, 10 quid for the box set. Fine, great way to start the hobby. Not that I've ever read the Holmes book. As you may well know, I play a bit of OSE now, which is in essence BX Moldvay with smatterings of advanced, and I love it. I've not played Holmes, so don't know a lot about it, but having it as a $10 box set, a full starter with all the stuff needed, yeah, good. Right. Oh, that's red. Isn't that usually blue? Let's look at the contents page. Let's see what Tim Kask is saying first. On page 6 of this issue, you'll find our first statement of ownership, management and circulation, as per second-class mailing regulations. Okay, so they've got to do something official because they're sending out enough copies to qualify for it, I'm guessing. Not that I know all these sort of things. I'm in Britain, obviously. So, good. They're growing. They are growing. Contents of the humorous side of D&D. The Druids, historical background. Quag Keep, D&D fantasy novel by Andre Norton. A new look at illusionists. So we've got Druids and illusionists. The Persian mythos. Ship's cargo. Ooh, I'm liking the look of some of this. Some thoughts on the speed of a lightning bolt? No, not fussed with that. Ooh, a review of the monster manual. Could this be the best issue of the Dragon yet? Shall we see? It says here, cover by Elra here. No, that's Sutherland. Was Elra here a pseudonym of Dave Sutherland? Don't know. Or is that just a typo? Okay. The more humorous side of D&D, or They Shoot Hirelings, Don't They? By Leon Wheeler. There is undoubtedly a humorous side to Dungeon Expeditions, this being the standard comedy routine provided unwittingly by the characters for the amusement of the DM. Fully agreed. Firstly, I would like to thank the innovator of Danubian Slime Devil, whose name escapes me, for the shrieks of dismay, numerous acts of harry-carry, and shouts of "Why me, Lord?" that occur in my dungeon. Upon one occasion, a cleric, a fighter, myself, and their respective hired fighters came upon the door to a room that they knew to contain numerous orcs, having been badly chewed up there before. Why had the orcs sat there and waited? No. Remembering their past two experiences with said orcs and not wishing to receive any more scars, the fighter quickly spiked the door solidly shut. 7 spikes. After this was finished, the cleric, using every point of his 7 intelligence, decided to stir up the orcs by banging on the door with his mace. As the fighter consulted his hireling, a former carpenter, as to whether more spikes might be needed, the cleric soundly rapped the door as he had planned, while the rest of the party looked on with horror. Much to the cleric's pleasure, the orcs scrabbled madly at the door, trying to get out. The cleric thought this so humorous that he proceeded to rap the door again, getting an equally violent reaction from the orcs. 2 spikes came loose and fell to the floor. You see where this is going? At this point, the fighter was reaching for his length of rope, eyeing the beams overhead for their strength and attempting to remember how to make a hangman's noose. Right. The cleric, chuckling to himself, decided that such great fun shouldn't stop, and so repeated his acts. Now the spikes remaining began to bend, and the door began to bulge before the furious onslaught of the orcs. The fighter had decided that his sword would be much quicker and was drawing it. So, reading on, the cleric halted his retreat and ordered his hireling to load up his crossbow to try and hit an orc or two. Isn't that where the hireling says no? Oh, they won. All the orcs were slain, one by a crossbow bolt. But alas, so was the fighter. His dying words were addressed to his hireling, and they were, "Get that cleric." Unfortunately, when one is faced with a loaded crossbow, he loses his former loyalty. So the cleric was dumb, but the cleric did something funny in the heat of the moment. But even with 7 intelligence, you've got to think, would they do that? Does humour overcome the sense of self-preservation? I don't know. Hang in there, Charlie. I'll get him one of these times. He's trying to fire a quote. Yeah, okay. Yes. Like that. Right, that thing about funny stuff will be continued on page 22. Why couldn't it be finished on the next page? Why not? And you look at illusionists. Illusionists are magic users who have specialised in those spells pertaining to illusion, deception, the mind, sensory distortion, and visual and sonic effects. Yes. Illusionists are one of the most creative character classes possible. You have to have a DM that's willing to ride with you. You have to have a player who is willing to, I think more than any other, invoke the game environment. Create an illusion that fits the situation, that is imaginative and dramatic, if necessary, or gentle, believable, if necessary, and so on. And it's a hard class to play. It's a very hard class to play. I'd like to see it played more often, though. Really, really would. So you have these lists of spells. These are spells that they're almost identical to what you get in the Player's Handbook, which of course would be released later this year. You've got your Phantasmal Force at first level, Ventriloquism, Colour Spray, Gaze Reflection, Wall of Fog. Remember these? Yeah. They might have rejigged it a little and shifted the levels of some of them. But yes, absolutely. So we have an illusionist class, the beginnings of one. Great. Fantastic. Right. Magic user equivalent. Normal new spell interpretation. Okay, so adjusted for the illusionist. Yeah, that's fine. And you've got descriptions here of the spells. Superb. They're very short descriptions, but that would be expanded on, of course, in the Player's Handbook. So brilliant. That's real uptick for this issue so far. I like the illusionist. Okay, a breakdown now of the Persian mythos. Now here's where I let you into a little bit of a secret. I'd become out of sync with my Dragon Magazine videos, and this is an hour after I recorded my read-through of Dragon 13. So Dragon 13, of course, contains a breakdown of the Japanese mythos. And I can tell you now, I'm going to have almost exactly the same criticisms for this as I will have for the Japanese mythos. Because that article there, I like the idea of it. I don't think it went into enough detail for each individual entry. But it's something that deserved a lot more and was clearly a precursor to Deities and Demigods. So yes, I am recording these videos out of sync. I've already had a look at the Japanese mythos one, and if you want my opinion of this article, the way it's presented, it looks so similar, just with different names, obviously different mythos entities. It'll be pretty much identical. Lots and lots of entries, adding lots of flavour, but short of descriptive text. But obviously, leading up to 2 years later, we got Deities and Demigods, which fleshed things out a little more thoroughly. Not perfectly, but a little more thoroughly. Let's go through these adverts. Yeah, look, British advert. There we are. Games Workshop, London. Some thoughts on the speed of a lightning bolt. Right. Okay, for a very long time now, many judges and players alike have maintained the idea that all things being equal, when a wizard and a fighter ran the same corner in a dungeon, pity the poor wizard because he will never get his spell off in time. Since I usually always play magic users in any given game, this concept naturally had me worried. Then, and may they keep on sending us out these great ideas, Eldritch Wizardry came out and the magic user's life was given another chance. Allegedly, Gygax didn't like magic users, had disdain for them. Okay, so right, not talking about the actual speed that a lightning bolt travels, but the casting time, how long things take within the round. Are we about to get segments? See, the idea of the segment in AD&D, I like the concept of it, breaking the round down. But when I've actually played it out of the table, I prefer a game to run very sort of fast, smooth, and dynamically. And breaking it down to segments, especially the way it was described in AD&D, because there were issues with the descriptions of initiative and surprise, and don't say there weren't, because there were. People are still arguing about exactly how to run AD&D initiative to this day. I've had plenty of people say, "Oh no, it's quite clear." No, it's not. It's not clear. If it was clear, then those arguments would not persist. Simple as that. So, all things being said, I like the way OSE and BX handle initiative. Drop the idea of segments. Break the rounds into an order of, say, isn't it movement, morale, movement, missile fire, melee, and spells, or whatever, however it comes out, and you go through that in turn. I think spells comes earlier, but off the top of my head, I always have to check that up before our games. But breaking it down into groupings, so everyone, if you want to move, you move now. Okay, off, shoot your missiles now. All on one side, and then on the other side go with their initiative. And it's just an easier way of doing it. Okay. Ship's cargo. Good. These little snippets are handy for DMs to help flesh out their world. It's per unit of cargo. Okay, so whatever your unit of cargo might be, that's fine. Yeah. Silk, precious stones, ivory, precious wood, all with a value per unit. Yeah, good. The Druids. Editor's note. It has always been our opinion that the best D&D playing came about when everyone has a feel of what and who his character is. The Druid PC can add a whole new dimension in PC interplay when handled right in a campaign. The following is offered in an attempt to offer new avenues of interplay amongst players. We should learn our best lessons from history and grow from there. Druid. The very word conjures up images of shadowy oak groves and ancient altars smoking with blood and gore, of gaunt, grey-bearded, white-robed priests wielding bloody daggers and invoking the names of the eldritch gods. Yeah, they were Celtic priests. Eldritch gods? No, not really. But certainly pre-Christian. Druids are first mentioned around 200 BC in the writings of the philosopher Sotion, how I would say Sotion, I would guess, of Alexandria. It has been postulated with some certainty that in addition to contemporary sources, he had access to written accounts of the Druids dating back to at least the early 3rd century BC. Okay. Yeah. So it was northern and western Europe, British Isles. These were French. He talks about Gaul here. Yeah, but they were the pagan priesthood of Roman times in northern and western Europe. I don't like the way people tend to approach them nowadays as being very, very pacifistic, vegan types. Druids live with the land. They preserve the balance of nature. They kill an animal, they will use every part of that animal. They will take care not to overhunt. They'll take care not to overfish. They're aware that everything sits in this sort of cycle of life. And if you take away all the wolves, then the deer will flourish, the deer will take over, and the plant life will suffer. Because everything is in a big cycle. So, you take what you need, you use it to its greatest efficiency, and then maybe take something else. If your family are lucky enough to hunt a deer, then maybe not hunt another deer for another month. Go for rabbits, squirrels, mushrooms, berries. Balance it all out. And that's the ethos of the Druid, not vegan pacifists. There, you've had your lesson. Okay, so it goes into the history of the Druids. I don't know enough about them to know whether it's going to be correct or not, but I'm assuming he's done his research. What we got here now? More adverts. Yeah, not a great advert. This is it. Look at the quality of the pictures. They're quite poor. The Lovecraftian mythos in Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, hang on. I didn't see. What page we're on? Page 18. I didn't see this in the thing at the start. Yeah, it's missed out. It's missed out. This Sorcerer's Scroll. Yeah, this is from the Sorcerer's Scroll. So they could have done with mentioning that Lovecraftian stuff was in it in the index at the start. I love me a bit of Cthulhu. You all know that. But it does seem to be very similar to that Persian article. There's more description here, though. There's more description. Look at this. Nyarlathotep appears as a tall, dark man, often dressed as a pharaoh, but is sometimes portrayed as a faceless sphinx. His appearance in the world is said to foretell the return of the old ones from their imprisonment. He charms humans, humanoids, and non-magical animals by his mere presence. There is more description here. There's more detail, and I'm biased because it's Cthulhu, but yeah, love to see this. Love to see that. I love a bit of horror. I'll certainly be coming back and reading the whole of this article. I haven't got time to do it now. But look, here's Yog Sothoth, Cthulhu, Elder Sign, Byaki, Deep Ones, Ithaquah, the Great Race, the Migo. Yes. Okay. Now, there's one thing we've been looking for. Advanced D&D, the Monster Manual. It's a sneak preview, it's not a review. Let me qualify this review by explaining that... Oh, it is a review. Is it? It's a sneak preview, not a full review. Let me qualify this review by explaining that I had absolutely nothing to do with the design, layout, or editing of this product. In the very beginning, I had the pleasure of reading the MS and correcting spellings, punctuation, and grammar errors. Isn't grammar GRAMMAR? That was the last time I saw it and was knocked out by it when TSR took delivery from the printers. That's from Tim Kask. Okay. Without even giving a full review, just at the bottom, an absolute must for every D&D enthusiast everywhere. Yes. Yeah, it is. It's just a class book. Familiar creatures. It's decently laid out. Some really good Trampier artwork in there. Cover art, yeah. Sutherland though, isn't it? But yeah, it is a classic book, absolute classic book. Continue about hirelings. Is Quag Keep. This is fiction. Oh, this looks like it's Trampier. Yes, there's that signature. Right. Here's where we get this clash between Sutherland and Trampier's styles. Sutherland, yeah, he did some decent pictures, but there's no real atmosphere to his pictures. They feel very flat. They're uneven. Trampier, if you look at the way he's got all this laid out, there's a proper sense of depth. There's an atmosphere there. You wonder, this dark stranger, is he a vampire? Why is it? But if not, why is he dressed like that? These guys in the inn or whatever don't look surprised to see him. Is there a meeting going on of some sort? What is the relevance of this little pseudo-dragon on the one guy's shoulders? He's just this typical Trampier. Really nice. That makes me want to go back and read this bit of fiction, which I'm not going to do now because it's far too long and the video will go on forever. Okay. But see, the art is consistently better. Here we go, Wormy. Now there's something you don't see every day, Dudley. Wormy's out in his front yard doing a flamingo dance. Yeah, if you ask me, it looks more like the frog. What the hell is he doing stomping around like that? Search me, Frank. Maybe he's putting out a brush fire. Wormy? Put out a fire? The guy's a pyromaniac. Ho ho! I'll bet you he's just having one of those epileptic seizures. Come on, let's get a closer look. What? You got all the brains of a kumquat. If Wormy's having a fit, this is plenty close right here. You got a point there. Hey, look sharp. He's going out of control. Heading right for us. Quick, behind this escarpment! Come here, you little booger. It's a dwarf running away. Off, epileptic seizure. Off. Maybe you don't got all the brains of a kumquat. Ah, shut up. Get on, Wormy! Phineas Fingers. I'm skipping past Phineas Fingers now that Wormy's in there. Sorry, Phineas Fingers. Phineas Fingers, Fred and Charlie in Attack on Telemark or One Day in the Wilderness. Okay. We're continuing with the fiction. And we finish up with some adverts, Of course you do. It's filled with adverts. Half the magazine's adverts. Right. Yeah. It is early 1978. So what has Dragon magazine become? We're 12 issues in. The cover art is still poor. Nice to see Trampier artwork in the magazine itself. Nice to see him illustrating the stories. The Cthulhu and Persian mythos, great chance for DMs to add some flavour to their game. The Illusionist, the history of the Druids, love to see that. Ship's Cargo, good stuff. The humorous side of D&D, I'd probably need to read more of it to go through, to explain what was going on, get full explanation of what was going on at their game. I do feel that people sometimes overplay low stats. I mean, yeah, I'm guilty of it at times. But there's a difference between overplaying someone who's not particularly clever and as suicidal, or just being a bit dim. And I lean towards playing something a bit dim. Anyway, not a bad issue. All being said and done, well done, Dragon. I think we're going places. I've been the Old Geek. If you like what I do, give me a like, give me a subscribe, whatever. Come and play some games. We play games every Saturday. Join the Discord. But until the next video, see ya.